Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the next episode of Nerd in Texoma. As y'all know from my intro video, if you have watched it or have not, I am a fan of a lot of different fandoms, not just Star Trek. Primarily Star Trek, but there's a lot of other things. One of my main other ones is Transformers. And today I'm going to be showing y'all a fairly new offering that came up recently that I had to get a hold of. It's in the line of the world's smallest Transformers. And for those of y'all who don't know what that is, that was actually a line that started in Japan about the turn of the century, so 15, 20 years ago, that included, there were micro transformer figures that actually transformed. They had their alternate mode and their robot mode. So there's like a little mini Optimus Prime that would turn from a semi into a robot. There was a little mini Megatron that turned from a gun to a robot, little mini Bumblebee that turned from the Volkswagen Beetle to a robot, so on and so forth. Takara, who is the Japanese manufacturer of Transformers, hasn't made any of these figures in quite some time, so now it's on to third-party and unofficial companies that want to keep the line alive, I guess you'd call it. And one of them recently came out with a 2-pack that is Galvatron and Soundblaster. Soundblaster is basically a repaint, remold of Soundwave after he died in the Japanese Headmaster series. A lot of y'all don't know what that is, but that's cool. I mean, no biggie. Basically, just imagine instead of Soundwave being blue, he's a black tape deck now. Basically the same thing. But the third-party manufacturer Dr. Wu came out with these, and this is the packaging there. As you can see, there's Sound Blaster, Soundwave, whichever you prefer, and Galvatron on the front. It's really kind of nicely decorated. Sorry, trying to get the right angle so everybody can see everything. Got the product shot of the two characters on the back there. Unfortunately, they put their, I guess, inventory sticker over this side and kind of messed it up when they could have just put it on the bottom and not really interfered with anything. Give me a moment and I will get these guys out of the package so y'all can actually see them. Alright, so I've got them out of the package, and since I have to have one hand holding the phone and I only have one free hand, then you're only going to get to see one of them at a time, and I'm going to have to pause it, when I transform them to show you their alternate mode and stuff like that, but no biggie. Alright, first up we have the little Galvatron figure. Now, since these are third parties and copyright law is kind of a tricky thing, they can make the characters and the figures look like their original Transformer counterparts, their original G1 counterparts. They can't put on the faction logos, so that Decepticon symbol that's on Galvatron there is one that I put on myself. And they can't call them Galvatron. So, like in this case, Galvatron is known as Destroy Emperor. If you can see that at the bottom there. All in all, I mean, he's a pretty cool little figure. I mean, looks to me just like the original Generation 1 Galvatron, just tiny. And next up we have Again, since they can't call him Soundblaster for legal purposes, we have, who's this? Monitor Officer, otherwise known as Soundblaster, or more people are familiar with Soundwave, his previous blue version. Again, the Decepticon symbol on his chest, I had to put that on there myself. No big deal, These are third-party figures that are actually a lot more posable than the official world's smallest figures. There's a lot more articulation. It's hard to show off, one-handed, so I apologize for that. But these are quite nicely detailed. I'm not sure if my phone is going to be able to accurately show all the detail, all the figures, sculpt work and paint work and all that, but these are really nice figures. Each one does come with a little bio card. Let's see here, get that. Where's the other one? There it is. Start off with Destroy Emperor, otherwise known as Galvatron. He's in a action pose there. On the back, it's got his stats, a couple more pictures of the character, his bio information in Japanese and stats in Japanese, and then there's a small English translation down at the bottom there. Card is pretty nice. I'm not sure if it's like totally plastic or not. It kind of feels like it's got like a texture to it, so it's not just a straight up cardboard card. Then we have Monitor Officer here in another pose. Excuse me, scratch the nose. Happens when you have cats, their fur gets everywhere. And then same thing on the back. He's got him in a different pose, showing off both the alt mode and the robot mode. His info in Japanese and English. Now on mine it looks like they printed the card slightly off-centered, because you can see it's got this real thick red stripe at the bottom and nothing at the top, whereas the Galvatron card, you can see the purple stripe at the bottom is about the same as the purple stripe at the top. No big deal. I'm not too concerned about that. So give me a sec to let me get these guys transformed into their alt mode and show you all that. Alright everybody, I'm back. Apologize if the zoom level changes. I try to keep the phone in the same place, but when I have to put it down, I might get it closer or further away or something like that. So I apologize. I'm eventually probably going to get some sort of stand or something, some little tripod, better place to film. We'll see. But starting off, we will go with Soundblaster. In my opinion, he is the simplest to transform. He's quite cool, quite easy. I have big fingers, so sometimes, the tiny details are a little rough for me, but I can still get them. They're pretty cool. But you'll see here is Soundblaster in his little tape deck mode. Again, the detail on these guys is awesome. He's got his little left and right at the top there for the speakers and all that. He just looks like a little micro tape deck. Super tiny. Pretty freaking awesome in my opinion. Now, these are pretty much the exact same size as the original world's smallest Transformers, the transforming ones, not the ones that are in stores now that are just like a little tiny statue. actual transforming ones. They might be slightly bigger, but they are way more articulated. There's a lot more posability, a lot more maneuverability with these guys, and in my opinion, that is super freaking awesome. You know, perfect scale for like one of the older masterpiece figures to hold as a tape deck. The older ones being the bigger ones like the MP01 and so on and so forth, before they went to this new scale, or the second scale, and now there's a third scale coming out. That's a bunch of craziness. Alright, and then we have Galvatron as his space cannon mode with his little tank treads down there, his big old blaster. You see that blue tip on him there? That is so you can actually attach one of the blast effects from, I guess it's current or recently past, the official Transformers Siege line of figures. A lot of them came with these little things called blast effects that you could stick on the end of the gun and make it look like it's actually shooting, or they had some little attachment ports, you know, on the figure in various places, like on the shoulder or the leg, that you could attach that blast effect and make it look like the character is actually getting shot there. So yeah, you got the little blast effect port on the tip of his cannon there, which you can actually pull that little blue piece out if you don't want it. I just leave it in there because I won't lose it that way. But there's his little space cannon mode. Try and show you from the other end, like that. Ready to shoot Starscream. My only complaint with this figure, per se, is this little lever here. That is how you actually retract his head to transform him, and, you know, raise his head to put him back into robot mode. At the beginning, when I first got this figure, it was extremely tight. It felt like I was going to break the figure by pulling on that lever. If you get one of these, just be prepared for that. Be firm, be forceful, but don't, you know, really shove it. You'll get there. Now, you know, I've transformed him a few times. It's worn down a little bit, you know, so it's not quite so tight. All in all, in my opinion, these are great little addition figures for characters that didn't get an official release in the world's smallest Transformers series. I'm glad to see a company keeping the spirit alive of these figures. I hope to see more of them. And also right now, I mean, you can find them on eBay, AliExpress, you know, whatever your favorite online retailer is. They're about 20 bucks. They're small. They don't take up much room. They're awesome little characters. I think they're cool. All right. Well, thanks for sitting here and watching me ramble on about Transformers. Y'all could be doing anything else, but you took a few minutes to hear a nerd in Texoma ramble. So thank you much. I'll see you all next time. If there's anything you want to see on my channel, like I said, just give me a holler in the comments down below. We'll see if I can get a hold of it. All right. Bye.